Hey people, this could be the best Hebrew lesson you ever had. I'm going to show you what this freely you may eat and what you oughtn't be eating means. So I went word searching and I found this in an English book teaching the Dutch language. It's a $120 book. It's called Syntactic Phrase Structure Phenomena in Noun Phrases and Sentences. I was looking for this word, clitical or aclitical, and I can't find it anywhere. Google can't translate it. Nowhere to find it. But here, aclitical means non-clitical and clitical. And I knew what it meant. I was just looking for some proof. And it doesn't have the addiction here. So I went up to look at the example. And as I look at these examples, it's the same way that I'm reading the Greek and the Hebrew. Jan sat thereof, and John sat thereon is what they say, and thereof, and John sat, and whereof sat John, whereon sat John, and urgins, and John sat somewhere, where these are the ones they say are non-clitical, and it means unable to grasp. And so the reason it's unable to grasp is because this happened in a language change, because they changed the meaning of urgins, because it comes up both in the Greek and the Hebrew. And in the Hebrew they'll say, and Cain killed urgins. And in the Greek and Hebrew it's also, the work, the verge. And so it looks like they tried to change this language, to change this word in the German, and that's why they can't get a grasp. That's why these are non-clitical. And when I look into the word, I see that it looks like they're trying to hide the meaning of political. They say it's relating to the government, and then they'll give it a vulgar meaning down here. You got to press the parental button to get it. Affecting or acting according to the interest of statutes rather than matters of principle. And it actually means over your head. And it comes from the base word clit, and clit had an older, vulgar meaning. They'll say the only thing you have is a clitoris, the only place this word comes from, a Greek, where they found it one time, and they don't know what it means. Probably, they say, from Cleo to sheath or shut, or cleus having a second meaning of key or latch, or coming from this old Greek verb, the cleat or rise, zo, the life, the mother of all life, zo. But it came from the ancient word clit or slit, and it means, if you're climbing a mountain, you're looking for a slit to put your hand in, means to get a grab on, a slit, a clit. You find it in the word proclitic, a word pronounced with so little emphasis that it is shortened and forms part of the following word. Before the grab you miss it. And so a clit is something you can get your hand on, and the ickle is like an able, something clitable with the able to get your hand on it. But a clitical is a call for the purpose of to eat it, a call, and something you get your hand on to a call. And that's where the base of political come from. That's why they try to hide this word. And so a clitical is not something that you can get your hand on to eat. A clitical it means out of your reach, over your head. And so this is the word, and you may eat of every tree of the garden freely you may eat. That's a clitical. A clitical. It means out of your reach. He's hollering at the birds in the trees, and it shoo, and commanded, and it shoo you, and it chase you away, and in him yell, and it shoo you, him yell. Oh, had 'em, all had 'em, and lammer, and mick lots of gin, a clitical. And so you may freely eat, what's aclitical, what I can't get a hand on. to a call to eat. What I can't get. So hollering at the birds, y'all get off my fruit and get up there to what's over my head. And his name is Old Micloxygen. Every tree in the garden. He owns every tree in the garden, and make lots. And make your share, make your lots of the garden of the Alchemical, what I can't reach. And so, old Micloxygen, he had a lot of jobs, he make all oxygen, come from every tree in the garden. These are ancient children's stories, tell them how to remember. And Mr. Micloxygen, in every tree of the garden, Alchemical, and couldn't get his hands on to cull. So he's telling him, and shoo. And shoo you, him yell, old Haddam Lammer Micloxygen, Alchemical. All Haddam Lammer, Haddam the word, working for the king. All Haddam Lammer Micloxygen. And so that's where that comes from. The Alchemical is something that you can get your hands on to eat, and Alchemical is something you can't get your hands on. So just like the other word, they got this backwards too. Not you should eat means to let. Yes, you could eat to let a cull. Alchemical, what I can't reach, and let a cull, what you can have. And so the political, what they could have was the fall at a cull. And so after I done got my share, you can have what was left. And you see it plainly in the Greek. It's where your word ambrosia come from. They say it's the food of the gods, but it's what was bruised. The bruise that you should eat. You can have what's bruised up. You can have what falls out the tree later, and that's all goes in the bruise. That all goes in the distillery. And so what you would eat here, is 4 days of. The 4 days of your days of pay, the bruise they pain. Pain is what you're making on the window pane, and it's to cure the pain from your hard labor. And this one you shouldn't eat. This is coming from a poet of no-footed, a poet of no-footed of Zulu to a genius kind, to the genius kind, the serpent of Zulu to the genius kind, calling upon her on, of finessed, to sweeten it out of finessed. You put some sugar on the fruit and you get a higher alcohol content. Finessed, a pot of had and comer upon it, comer upon it, that's the wife of any, is on it, Annetta, a pot of a tonic too. Tonic too means to get your wings. And it means, on that time. And Apada, the serpent, the no-footed, the Apada, be aside. By your side, the serpent be aside. But, this N-E turns into the B. And the Apada have, the Apada be, the Apada have aside. Aside, that's death. Aside the road, suicide, homicide. And this side comes from the serpent, the poison serpent. And at that time, a tonic too, a podicide, or a poda be aside, a serpent be aside. But not necessarily a serpent, a poda just simply means no feet. You may become an angel. And the tonic too, the time to put on your no feet, to be aside. I showed in that movie yesterday where the first line in the Bible says, it's a tour of the city. And he's out here writing what's on the walls, and this is what's going on. He's in Egypt. And so when he saw this, he would describe it with words. And this is a part of, the tonnage, a part of the tonnage got its wings, and the Beaside, the deadly serpent. And so it's an ancient symbol. I think they use it in cartoons, flying around somebody's head when they're drunk. It means mind altered, mind altering. Snake oil, to dispel over apotism. To dispel and brood up, to dispel over apotism. He's walking through Egypt and he's seeing all these old ads on the wall. Ad meaning past, Adam, the ads from. And so, this is a political, not so much as a political, but, and from Acts had it to borrow. From an axe had it to borrow, political. And so this is that word for what you should eat and what you should not eat in the Greek. And the faggot is the way people pronounce that, but it's actually a phonet or a ponnet. What a faggot means, a faggot is somebody who carries the fascists. The fascists is what's sitting here behind Congress. Those are faggots. They carry the fascists. This is the faggot, the bundle of sticks, and this is the fascist, the axe and the bundle of sticks. And so this is explaining what it has to do with politically. It's a rod and axe, meaning everything needed to inflict corporal and capital punishment. This is the faggot here, this old bundle of sticks here. It's the fagate. Got several different spellings here. The faggoty. So some of these are faggot. So come or a faggot, come or a beating. And from Acts, it had it to borrow, to burrow, let a cull. And so what the axe is hiding in is the faggot. And from Acts had it to borrow. It's the faggotlitical, the fagolitical, beaten with the sticks. So I pulled this off in 3 different Bibles. It's just these 3 lines as forbidden fruit. And I'll make a longer movie and put them all 3 side by side and see the differences in them. And I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.